Tonight, boys hockey all over the place, but the focal point, girls sectional playoffs. A lot's been decided, still some to be decided. We tell you next. It's Sports Den, so stick around. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Sports Den here on North Metro TV. I'm J.W. Cox alongside Mary Peters, and it is certainly hockey and winter sports playoff season. And the first to jump into the fray in playoffs is girls hockey. We've got plenty of that on the show, but don't forget, it's also time for gymnastics playoffs. We've got some details on where you can catch that, where the Centennial Cougars stack up with that. Also, a deeper look inside the Centennial Cougar program with our coaches and captains feature. All of that coming up, but the quickest way to get into it and talk about the playoffs is just jump right into it with girls Section 5 2A Northwest Suburban Conference schools all over that bracket. The Centennial Cougars girls hockey team put together a 9-game winning streak to close out the regular season. We'll run that back one more time. It's a 9-game winning streak. They haven't lost in 2014, 2015. They faced off against the number 8 seeded Anoka Tornadoes. They're led by their goalie, Molly Scarborough. She stood in the way of what has been a Cougar juggernaut, including their top scorer, Gabby Hughes. Stares her down once right there, a second time on a break. This all early last week in the quarterfinal round. Hughes can't solve Scarborough. Well, they'll try the senior, Jessica Baseflug from the High Point. She can't solve her as well. Would stay scoreless in this one a long time because Scarborough, very good for Anoka. On the other side, Annie Juergens in net. She's been very good all season long. It was a pelting of 23 shots against Scarborough. And eventually, there was more than just shots coming at her. You see Hughes nearly put the puck across the goal line, but then she's bumped down into the goalie. The net's moved, the goal waved off. Wheat stays scoreless. We're down inside of 6 minutes to go in the third period. Into Annika Linzer between the circles. Her shot blocked away by the pad, but Gabby Hughes right there to push it back in. Hughes gets her revenge and the Cougars win.
Annika Linzer got the puck in front of the net and she tried to get a shot. The rebound came out to me and I just backhanded it in, so it wouldn't have happened without Annika. Some of us, when we don't get, we get opportunities and we don't finish, we get a little frustrated, so she just told us to keep our head up and keep working our butts off and it'll come.
Couldn't do it without an amazing team in front of me, and you just got to keep going. Second period, I only got 3 shots, so you just got to keep your head in it through the whole game.
It's very important. I mean, you don't want to let an odd man break, and we did, but I think our defense recovered and we came back as a team and we never gave up, and that was what really won the game for us.
Off a 5-game win streak of their own, the Blaine Bengals, the number 2 seed in Section 5 2A, took on the number 7 seed Spring Lake Park Panthers. Spring Lake Park St. Anthony Village Panthers. It was a 1-1 game late in the first. Then it became a 2-1 game thanks to Cameron Crawford off the feed from Abby Armstrong. They beat Michaela Tilton, put 2 goals on her. That seems near impossible throughout the season. So it's 2-1. Then into the second, it's knotted up at 2 thanks to the Bengals and Courtney Moser. Bang, bang, it's 2-2 after 2 periods. Moser wasn't done. Gets back into the act early in the third, finds her way past Molly Senko for her second goal and a 3-2 Bengal lead. But the 7th seed wasn't going away. Taylor Turnquist, with a Bengal riding her down the ice, still finds a way to put it in the back of the net to make it 3-3. Bengal defense had to hold on a couple of chances late in the third, still in a 3-3 game. They clear the zone. Bengals then get another chance. It's Alyssa Woolens, the rebound into the back of the net, 4-3 game winner.
I've lost to go to state twice, my freshman year and my junior year, and it doesn't matter if you're 20th or 1st. I mean, we just beat Minnetonka 2-0, and they were ranked number 1, and we're 20. I mean, it does not matter what rank you are as long as you just put it to the test and do whatever you can, you know?
It feels great. I think our team just really came out there during the third period, and we just finally overcame our mistakes and were able to finish on a good note, so that's good.
It was definitely a little bit challenging to every time we tried to get something going, they'd shove it right back and put it in the momentum in their favor. But we just stayed positive on the bench. We were always encouraging, little stick taps, like keep it up to our teammates. And our coaches just said that we're prepared for this. This is, we've trained all season for this moment, and it's really our game.
This is the Section 5-2A semifinal game, Centennial and Champlin Park. Both teams are big on defense and good in the net, and they allow less than 2 goals per game. This first one shows Annie Jurgens, the goalie for Centennial, make a stop. She came in with a 95% save percentage in her last 10 games. And then there is a stop from Champlin goalie Hannah Gettle. She has 9 straight games with save percentages of 91 and better. The Play of the Week nominee, Annika Lenzer, with the first goal of the game off the assist from Gabby Hughes. Lenzer had scored 3 goals in the last 4 regular season games and assisted on the game winner in the Cougars' first round win. Still 1-0 Cougars in the second. Early in the power play, Jessica Basewood fires a long shot. Lenzer in front of the net tips it in for a second goal of the night and a 2-0 Cougar lead. Same score with just 5 minutes to go. Lenzer on the attack again. Gettle stops her shot, but Gabby Hughes is able to put it into the net for the goal and a 3-0 lead. For Hughes, that is her second of the playoffs and gives her a team-high 31 goals for the season. Champlin did get a power play goal late in the third to make it 3-1, and that was the final score. Final seconds tick off, and the Cougars are going to the Section 5A finals on Friday night against Blaine.
I think she's glad that we worked hard. We did all the little things right again, and I think she's just proud. This is the farthest we've been in a while, so.
And what excites you the most about this playoff run?
Like everything, there's nothing that's laid back. Everything is exciting.
We did the little things right. We all worked hard every single shift, and we never let up.
You're the #1 seed. What did it take game to game to get you guys here?
Hard work, just every single shift, going, never giving up.
So you know they'll face the Blaine Bengals on Friday, but how did the Bengals get there? They had to get past #3 Mounds View, and that has been something they haven't been able to do in each of the past 2 seasons. Bengals and Mustangs, each with good goaltending. You see Paige Beebe, the early chance against Mary Dingman. She's turned away. Michaela Tilton on the other end, stingy through a scoreless first period both ways. End of a 4th power play on the night in the second for the Bengals, still scoreless, but that would change. Gabby Rosenthal bends the twine for the first goal of the game, a 1-0 lead, less than 8 to play in the second. You see just 5 seconds left in the power play. 6 minutes later, still 1-0. Paige Beebe, a play that'll set your hockey soul on fire. Somehow beats 1, 2, and the goalie, and she's tripped and scores to make it 2-0. Stays there until late in the second. Mounds View looking for some sort of answer. Sydney Brott fires in. Courtney Conlin off the rebound beats Tilton for the first time. It's 2-1 as into the third we go. Bengals straight off the faceoff, just 11 seconds in. Brown from Beebe, that's Emily Brown, who we saw earlier in that first highlight, makes it 3-1 Bengals. Still not over, you're breathing a sigh of relief, but the Bengals still fighting off a very good Mounds View team out of the Suburban East. Sydney Brott fires the bullet of a shot. Tilton can't handle the rebound, and Annika Brott makes it a 1-goal game again. Just a bullet off the face mask of Tilton, and then Brott, right place, right time, and Mounds View is still in it. So they call a timeout with right around 2 minutes to go, and that set up the plan to pull the goalie. There's an empty net on the other end. Bengals able to stop the shot, come away with possession. Kinsey Wiley somehow keeps it off the boards. She puts it to the back of the net. 5-2 after another empty header would be your final. Bengals move on.
I think we came out and were really competitive. We had a strong goal that we wanted to achieve. We wanted some revenge from last year when they beat us in the section final. They played a great game, and I think we really competed hard and brought it to them.
A lot of positive is, like I said, to not be afraid and to work as a team to get the job done.
The guider's been encouraging us to keep it on it, and the biggest thing is just go out every single practice as hard as you can go, 100% as if it's going to be game day. And he just tells us every single game to just keep on it. He never tells us to give up.
So the seedings and the sections tell the tale as it's #1 versus #2 on Friday night in Roseville. You see the Cougars path past Anoka and Champlin, Blaine past Spring Lake Park, St. Anthony Village, and Mounds View. And the two will meet for a third time this season alone. They split the first two meetings, 7:30 in Roseville, a game that we will cover, however, not live on North Metro TV, but we will cover that game, and you'll be able to catch it once more on a replay back on NorthMetroTV.com and throughout the week on Channel 15. Bengals, Cougars, doesn't get much better than that when it comes to girls hockey this season. They've been two of the best, and we've had great games, great boys games as well throughout the past week as they close the season.
Yeah, the Spring Lake Park Panthers have had a strong season, but as the season has gotten closer to the end, they've seemingly hit a rut and have had a little bit of a tough time. With their scoring down earlier from this year, the Panthers looked to bounce back last week against the Maple Grove Crimson. The Panthers have been averaging close to 5 goals per game for most of the season. But over the last few, leading up to Maple Grove, the average have dipped to just 3 goals per game. Maple Grove's Justin Kelly with a deep shot that beats goaltender Aaron Furlano for Spring Lake Park to make it 1-0 just under 3 minutes into that game. Then off the assist on the entry shot from Sam Ross, Dane Abernathy scores again for Crimson to make it 2-0. The initial shot hit the pipe and was stopped by Furlano, but he could not make the second save in the sequence. 2-0 Maple Grove still in the first. Panthers have 13 wins on the season into this game and are looking at the top seed in Section 5A. And early in the second period, still 2-0 in favor of Maple Grove, Josh Wendt takes a long shot from the blue line. It is deflected into the net by Ross, who was just in the right place at the right time. The Panthers have not been shut out all season, but were trailing 3-0 with less than 8 minutes to go. Aaron Murphy for the Panthers, straight off of a face-off late in the power play, finally finds the back of the net for Spring Lake Park to make it 3-1. Goalie Cal McKinney makes a save on a long shot.
Well, I think any game where we're spending a lot of time in the offensive zone is doing good things for us to just, work on working it down low and stuff like that. I think out-shooting a team is always a huge positive, and I thought we hit pretty well tonight. So
I'm excited to make a run for the X. We have a really good team this year, and if we play good, we can make it, I think.
More boys hockey action, and again, the Spring Lake Park Panthers searching to find a groove again to close the season. They got a tough task in the top 15 team in the Centennial Cougars boys squad, and the Cougars got out in front early. Colton Berg, a 1-0 Centennial lead. Berg's the second leading scorer on the squad going into the game with 11 goals into that game against the Panthers. It's still 1-0. Jonathan Albers doing that thing that he does against Aaron Murphy. Makes the big pad save there to keep it 1-0. Wouldn't you know it, just seconds later on the return trip down the ice, Connor Lovick, nobody hotter scoring goals than Connor Lovick, outside the circle. He beats Furlano for the 2-0 lead. It was nearly 1-1, then it's 2-0. Goals in bunches for Lovick, who is the leading scorer as far as goals go for the Centennial Cougars as they head down the stretch of their season. Nelson this time down the ice for Spring Lake Park, again trying to beat Albers, can't do it. His goal against average is under 3 for the season. Makes 1 stop, makes 2 stops, covers up the puck and keeps it 2-0 in the third. Under 12 to play. Cole Ahrens is nearly checked off the puck right by the glass in front of the bench. Somehow he gets it to Berg. Berg finds the back of the net. 15th win for the Cougars, second goal for Berg on the night.
I want to take the speed. We came out there flying and just took an early lead and played well throughout the game.
What have you guys done well so far this season?
We've become a family and through ups and downs and just getting to know each other.
What are you excited for as postseason play gets closer?
Just winning the section championship game.
Well, my D played great in front of me tonight. They were blocking shots, laying out for me. They kept most of the shots to the outside, made my job pretty easy.
What is Coach still emphasizing in each practice?
We're emphasizing speed and quickness, moving our feet, getting off a lot of shots.
That was the Northwest Suburban Conference game between the North, the Centennial Cougars, and the West, the Spring Lake Park Panthers. It was quite a week last week for the North. They went 15-1 in games against the West. The only loss was for Champlin Park as they lost to Osseo. You see what Centennial's part was in that week of dominance for the North. The win over Spring Lake Park we just saw, their 4th straight, at least on the screen there. Irondale, Coon Rapids, Armstrong have all fallen. They get a tough Class A matchup again for a 2nd straight game at Totino Grace on February.
taking a look at the Spring Lake Park boys hockey schedule. They tied at Champlin Park, and then they had 3 straight losses, and their last, which we just saw, was against Centennial, 0-3. They take on Blaine on Friday, which will be a tough one because they are second in the Northwest Suburban Conference North.
For the Blaine Bengals, they've got their final matchup at home against Spring Lake Park. They are off 4 straight wins. Duluth East in there, a former ranked team. They got a big victory there, handled Coon Rapids and Osseo and beat Armstrong Cooper, so a good tune-up. Jacob Nystrom, though, he's one of those big-time scorers for the Panthers. 24 goals, 22 assists for him on the season, and they can certainly prove tough when they are rolling this year. The standings out in the West, there's been a clear top and bottom in the Northwest Suburban, but Totina Gray still 8-2, Osseo 7-2, and Spring Lake Park 7-3-1 with 13 overall wins as they try to find their scoring streak again.
And taking a look at the North, Elk River is at the top at 11-1. Blaine is right behind them at 8-3-1, and Centennial's 4th at 6-6 with Maple Grove, who's also 6-6.
Every week, a trivia question for everyone out there to ponder, and this week it goes back to girls hockey, which we've led off the show with as we're deep into the finals now of Section 5-2A. Centennial Cougars girls hockey on the precipice of going back to the state tournament if they can get past their rival. So our trivia question today, when is the last time the Cougars hockey team did that? The Centennial girls hockey team, last time they went to state. That's our trivia question, and as always, we'll give you the answer next week. We'll find out what last week's answer was when we come back on the other side. It's Sports Den, more to come. Stick around.
The Hampton Inn & Suites in Lino Lakes is conveniently located off 35W at exit number 36, just 20 minutes away from both downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul. While you're here on business, enjoy Hampton's first-class amenities. Hampton offers a swimming pool, spa and sauna, fitness center, a state-of-the-art meeting room,
free high-speed internet, complimentary breakfast, and our corporate shuttle will get you where you need to go.
Hampton Inn & Suites, Lino Lakes. We love having you here.
Coaching standpoint. What it means to me to be
Back with you on North Metro TV. As always, the answer to last week's trivia question. And Mary, we were talking about Blaine hockey and the guys that have gone on to play in the National Hockey League. And actually the question was which school in our area had the most guys play in the National Hockey League. And it is Blaine with 3. Brandon Baczynski, Matt Hendricks, and Nick Bungstad have all gone on to play have all gone on to play in the NHL, so Blaine has the title there. Mentioned off the top of the show, as we've got hockey and wrestling and all sorts of sports coming down to the close of their season, dance also down the home stretch, and they will have their state tournament coming up at the Target Center, and that is all on this Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th. As you see the dance schedule, it'll be Saturday for the high kick competition, Friday for the jazz competition. Blaine just before 3 o'clock. They'll be the first ones up on Friday. Spring Lake Park 3:16 just after 3:15 on Friday, and then back at it just before 2:30 in the high kick for Blaine. Centennial has the high kick squad there just after 3, and Spring Lake Park is right there at 2:35. Finals will come on Saturday for high school dance.
And taking a look at the wrestling section 5-3A bracket, Centennial is number 1, and they face either Park Center or Irondale. And Spring Lake Park is number 6, facing number 3 Maple Grove on Saturday. And we will have a playoff champion at the end of that day.
As for the 7-4A, make it 7-3A bracket, St. Michael Albertville took the number 1 seed, and that is who Blaine Andover will run into to start things off. They'll get either St. Francis or Elk River if they can get past the Knights of St. Michael Albertville. Coon Rapids, the number 2 seed in boys wrestling at 7-3A. So wrestling and dance all coming down the stretch of their season. Also, gymnastics. We're bearing down on the playoffs for gymnastics. That's all going to come down this weekend. Centennial coming in off the strength of 3 wins in their last 5 meets. They are as hot as any gymnastics team in the state. We did get a chance to catch up with their coaches and captains to get an inside look of their squad. And if you want to take a look at that, you can catch it online, northmetrotv.com, plus our YouTube channel. All of that is in HD, and it will get you prepared for the playoffs in girls gymnastics coming up this weekend. And Mary, it was a lot of hockey, obviously, to start the show, but we can't forget about basketball still going on. There's still a lot left to be decided.
Yeah, starting out in January, the girls basketball Centennial team went on a 7-game win streak, but they have lost their last 3 games, and they headed into Andover to see if they could break that streak. Centennial has lost. Cougars have struggled against the Northwest Suburban Conference North, including a loss to Andover in the 3rd game of the season. J.C. Girding was hot from behind the arc. Her hot shooting helped the Cougars open up a 10-point lead just about 8 minutes into the first half. The Cougars led by 7 at the half. J.C. Girding has been fantastic this season and is one of the top scorers in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Second half action, Claire Orth found Sarah Grill. Back to a 2-point game, Andover's top scorer Jolene Daniger drives baseline for the layup to tie the game at 33. 2 minutes later, still in a tie game, J.C. Girding hits another 3-pointer to give the Cougars the cushion at 40-37. Up to a 4-point lead for Centennial. Inside of 50 seconds left, Daniger again with a big shot hits the 3 to make it 51-50 Cougars. Free throws gave Andover the lead. Cougars turn to Girding again, who hits the free throw line jumper in traffic for a 1-point Cougar lead. Again, the Cougars fouled Andover, and 2 more free throws made it a 54-53 lead with just 3 seconds left. This is the Play of the Week nominee. Girding misses her running attempt, but Groh is there for the putback. The Cougars win it 55-54. Girding finished with 24 points, Groh had 12, and Daniger for Andover finished with 15 points. And taking a look at the girls basketball Centennial schedule. Like I mentioned, they had 3 losses, but then they came over and beat Andover 55-54. They face Irondale next on Wednesday, which is today, and then they have Elk River on Friday, and they travel to Coon Rapids on Tuesday.
For the Blaine Bengals on the girls basketball side, they have Andover, Coon Rapids, and Champlain Park coming up. Coon Rapids, Andover, and Champlain Park in that correct order. You might as well do that. They've lost their last 2 with Roseville and Elk River on the schedule. They'll be dealing with Kaylee Porish for the Coon Rapids Cardinals. They've only won 2 games this season, but she pours in 13 per game, so it's not going to be an easy task against the Cardinals.
And taking a look at the Spring Lake Park girls basketball schedule, they had a loss against Osseo, but they have Maple Grove next, which is first in the Northwest Suburban Conference West Conference. Then they face Park Center, which is second in that conference. And then they travel to Robbinsdale Armstrong. So tough schedule coming up for them.
Down the stretch, the way things look in the Northwest Suburban Conference for girls basketball. In the north, it's Elk River on top. 8-0 in conference play, 17-2 overall. Andover with 14 wins tells you how big of a win that was for the Cougars. 13 wins for the Cougars, 10 for the Bengals, but both at 3-4 in conference play.
And taking a look at the West, Maple Grove's at top at 7-0 in conference play. Park Center and Osseo are 5-2. And Spring Lake Park is at the bottom at 0-8 in conference play and 2-19 overall.
On the boys' side for the Centennial Cougars, they've put together a strong season trying to close it out just as strong. They've split their last 2, lost to a tough Hopkins squad, bounced back well to beat Andover by 4. Tyler Peterson had 29 in that one for the Cougars. They've got the Elks of Elk River, who are a 12-win team. Then the Cardinals, just a 1-win team in conference. The Cardinals of Coon Rapids. Then they'll take on Anoka. So some games to be had, you would think, just on paper for the Cougars.
And taking a look at the Blaine boys' schedule, their last game was at Elk River, where they came away with a win, 66-58. They have Coon Rapids next, and then they travel to Andover, and they have Champlain Park, which is first in Northwest Suburban Conference North.
For Spring Lake Park, they struggled in their last 2 against Irondale. It was a 6-point loss. Aaron Flink dropped in 13. Mark Riley had 21 in a big loss to Osseo. They'll try and get back in the win column against Maple Grove, Park Center, and Armstrong coming up. Just tough competition. 9 wins there for the Crimson, 17 overall for the Falcons of Robbinsdale Armstrong. In the Northwest Suburban Conference West, we see Maple Grove sitting at 19-3, 9-0 overall. Armstrong 7-1, 7-2 for Osseo. Spring Lake Park there at 2-7, tucked in behind the Irondale Knights at 4-6.
Taking a look at the North Conference, Champlain Park is 10-0 in conference play. Centennial is 6-3. Elk River is behind them, and then Blaine is right in the middle at 5-4 in conference play and 10-13 overall.
As for what we have coming up, we talked about it, Mary. Where else would anyone rather be than the championship game of Section 5-2A, Bengals and Cougars, girls hockey. You can see things are very close. You can tell both teams play defense with the goals against, both under 55, goals against average, both under 2.5. The save percentage with Michaela Tilton and Annie Juergens off the chart in net for those two teams. Even the power play numbers, there's going to be a slight edge, you would think, to the Cougars, but as we mentioned last night, the Bengals just not on the power play as much as the Cougars have been, but we'll have that matchup for you on North Metro TV. Won't be able to watch it live, but again, we'll be there, cameras will be rolling, and we will catch that magic as one of those teams from the Northwest Suburban Conference will find their way into the state tournament with a victory in Roseville on Friday night at 7:30. So can't wait for that. It will have a one-time Athlete of the Week, Gabby Hughes, of course, and her running mate, who is this week's Athlete of the Week, Annika Linzer. For her efforts in the playoffs so far, Linzer is our Athlete of the Week. The freshman forward has been outstanding through the first 2 rounds. She put up 2 goals and an assist in the 3-1 semifinal win over Champlin Park. Also had one of the assists on the lone goal in the win over Anoka, the 1-0 final over the Tornadoes. 19 goals and 24 assists. And again, we'll run this one past folks. A freshman. She's a freshman. Gabby Hughes is a freshman. Paige Beebe on the other side is a sophomore. There's all sorts of young talent that will be featured in that championship matchup, and that's going to be featured in this rivalry, we all hope, for an awfully long time on the girls hockey side of things. And remember those 2 names, Linzer and Beebe, because they're going to come up in our next segment when we talk about Plays of the Week. We nominate 3 plays throughout the show, throughout the games that we cover, and then we give them to you at the end in the order that's not quite random, but we try and choose the order that we think of the most outstanding plays throughout the week. It's our Plays of the Week. 2 will be from hockey, but the first, you saw it in basketball. Anytime there's a buzzer beater, Mary, you've got to be able to put that one in Plays of the Week. J.C. Girding thought she might have the chance. Sarah Groh, that's why you always rebound. Nothing garbage about that putback, and a winner for the Cougars. That is play number 3 of our Plays of the Week. So then into the hockey we go, and 2 almost similar plays. Annika Linzer, our Player of the Week. She somehow finds her way past a couple of Rebel defenders plus a third and tucks it up under the crossbar for a goal. Cougars would win that one, as you saw earlier. Then it's Paige Beebe. Heart-stopping, whatever you want to call it. I think we give her the number 1 because she leaves her feet and still finds a way to sweep in the puck. You see it right there. As she swept her stick across, she was parallel to the ice, beats a lot of defenders through traffic, and beats an outstanding goalie. And she takes away our Play of the Week, number 1 for Paige Beebe. And you'll see both of those last 2 again in action in the championship game. Bengals and Cougars, and that's just going to be the tip of the iceberg, we hope, for what we can cover throughout the playoffs in basketball on both girls and boys, and certainly in boys hockey. That'll come up soon as well. If you've got a Play of the Week, certainly go to northmetrotv.com. You can see all the old ones, and also you can contact us with any tips maybe about something that we don't get out to go see, because we want to see all of those potential plays. It's going to be fun on Friday. We'll be back here with all the highlights next Wednesday. Go Bengals, go Panthers, go Cougars.